The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Why, hi there, everybody. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to yet our third teaching video of the basics of Action PC Sports. Today we're going to go through the baseball game. Normally I don't, because these are usually run live and most people watch them on tape. I don't usually talk about things that have just happened. But if you were worried about what happened to Al Red Sox fan at the start of his OOTP stream earlier Sunday, he's fine. Just had a little unexpected real life thing happen, but everything is fine. And so if you were waiting for game 2 or 3 or whatever it was of the 1973 World Series using Out of the Park 20, it will either be later today or tomorrow. But rest assured that Al is fine and nothing to worry about. All right, so now to the task at hand. As you know, we use Action PC Baseball for my 1982 season replay. And so that will be the basis of what you are about to see. We're about starting week 13. We're almost halfway through the season starting next week. So if you go back in the last 2 weeks, we've done Action PC Hockey and Action PC Football. And next week, we're going to do Action PC Basketball. But today it's baseball. And as most of you know, baseball is by far my favorite sport. And Action PC scratches a lot of the itches I have while playing baseball. And not only does it give you a good streaming presentation, which is important, you want to be able to watch something while you're going out of here, but it also plays a good solid baseball game. So if you've never tried it or just bought it because opening week and the game is on sale, I'm going to walk through some things. Not going to show you how to mod anything or go through some rules and play a couple innings of a game, just like we did with the rest of them. So, if you have any questions along the way, Al Red Sox fan, and Al shouldn't have any questions here because he knows how to play the game rather well, please go ahead and ask, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. This is the main screen you get when you turn on the game. It's set for the season that I'm working on. There are no hidden surprises here. If you followed my 1982 replay at all, these are the standings through, I believe, Saturday, the 26th of June. And unless you're an American League fan, it's a long, long way to Tipperary. The Red Sox are 29-40. That sucks. Okay, so let's just pretend for a second that you just set this up. And you're kind of confused about what everything means. First thing we do is look at rules. We go to quick setup. There are a lot of ways you can play the game here. You can do as played. And this mode can be used for seasons that include complete transactions. I believe it's 41 on in this game. Rosters for each game will include the actual active players for that game, taking into account real-life injuries, trades, signings, call-ups, and demotions. Real-life lineups and starting pitchers will be used. If you're looking to make sure that people are used properly, especially starting pitchers who really suck and only had those couple games, as played is the way to go. It's easy. The work is done for you, and you just kind of have to manage the team as you see fit. But if you think that, especially in later season games where one team in real life might have been down in the dumpster but is fighting for a playoff spot, all transactions might be for you too. All real life transactions will be used, including when available. The same thing, the user or computer real life injuries, trades, signings, call-ups, and demotions. The user or computer manager will set the lineups and starting pitchers for each game. Injuries that occur will last no more than 3 games. So if you're not looking to be strict about your lineups, that's the way to go. And hey, a 3-game injury, especially late in the year, is big. Major transactions. Only major transactions will be used. These includes trades and signings, but not injuries, call-ups, or demotions. The user or computer manager will set the active lineup, roster, and starting pitcher. Injuries can occur, and we'll show you how to mess with that in a minute. No transactions. Perfect for tournaments. All players who played on a team will be available at any time. You or the computer sets the roster, lineup, starting pitcher. Injuries may occur. And if you're looking for more of an out of the park experience, there's alternate reality mode. Alternate reality mode enables a new style of season replay which provides additional levels of strategic depth. In this mode, results are driven by hidden ratings rather than by raw statistics. These ratings are based on actual statistics but with some random variation. For an example, a 300 hitter in real life will usually be rated to hit about 300, but sometimes will be better or sometimes worse. Ratings are generated each time a new season begins, so no two replays will ever be the same. This system encourages more realistic manager and general manager decisions. For example, if a real-life 270 hitter hits only 240 the first month of the season, the manager might consider moving him down in the batting order or giving the backup more playing time. In other modes, the manager would know that the backup, who hit 260 in real life, is all else equal simply not as good. Ratings are generated for batting average, walks, strikeouts, home runs, doubles, triples, and durability for both batters and pitchers. So you can get kind of creative or you can be strict. Good morning, DJ John. How are you? I play strict. It's just the way I want to do it. It just makes it easy. And for streaming to you guys, it gives an added sense of reality. But there are lots of different ways to play it. You don't have to do it the way that I do. Now, general, you can set for a season what the DH rules are, such as here. Obviously, in 1982, the American League has a DH. The National League has no DH. And in the World Series, you would not use a DH. Sorry, Al. The league era goes with which settings you want to use to make sure you get accurate numbers. Standard is the default, but you can change it to cross era if you were setting up a league between two different teams or individual seasons, both American and National League. Standard is where you should leave it. It works fine. The numbers are great. Let's see. You can apply park effects. So we do play with ballparks on. So not only do you see the pretty pictures of the ballparks, haha, but it does take the park factors from seam heads so that Yankee Stadium will be more of a batter's box, and the National League West ballparks will be pitcher havens. We don't use draft leagues, and they do have generic left-right splits for batters below 50 plate appearances. You can choose to warm up pitchers for bullpen. I don't do that. You can have the no-pitch intentional walk. I don't do that. You can't have catcher fatigue. That's great if you're doing like something with transactions, but not with as played. You can edit the estimated pitch count. In this game, pitcher fatigue is based on an estimated pitch count. You know approximately how many pitches a pitcher can go, but not the exact number. Sometimes if a pitcher is low on innings, you can change that to give them more endurance, or if they're high on innings, if usage is a big deal to you, you can lower it to give them less innings. Can you allow outfielders to play out of position? Like Appleball, where they're just kind of all outfielders. You can have Jim Rice play right field if you want. Why would you? I don't know. 10-minute ticker works if you're playing all the games at once and just doing a single team replay. You can have rain delays. We've had them. You can have rain outs, which will happen after the game goes official. You can have suspensions, which I'm going to uncheck there because you can have fights in this game. And that's certainly possible. And players get suspended. You can have replay rules. So if you're playing like 1912 and want replays, you can allow replay reviews, you can have crew chief reviews, or you could do home run reviews only. You can set how many reviews per team and what inning you go to the booth for the replay review. I do not use replay review. You can change the sacrifice fly rules depending on the era. Rosters, you can change the roster limit. The default things that are checked are use transaction dates if available, use daily lineups if available. One game injuries, they only impact the current game. And then you can set the computer general manager to make roster changes. If you are a stickler on usage, you can set penalties. Reduce hits and walk by up to 50% if you really want to be a stickler about it. Same with the pitchers. Okay? I don't use usage limits. Miscellaneous. You can display the pitcher's estimated pitch count. So I know that Joe Schmo is going to have 110 pitches to throw. So I know when to start thinking about when to pull him. Display outcome box. You'll see that in what we're about to actually play a game. That will tell you what the expected batting average is, the percentage of an extra base hit, like can Eddie Murray hit a double? What percentage of him hitting a triple? How about a home run? Base stealing success. It tells you just what it means. What is the chances if I tried to steal with X runner that they're going to steal the bag? And the chance of what it's going to be if a runner tries to tag from third or goes from second to third or first from second. Offer base advantage ops. You can change how often you want to make a decision about when to move the runners along the bases. The default is set for 30% or higher, or else you'd always have something if a runner is on first. Bobby has a 2% chance of going to second. Are you going to do it? No. You can play pitch by pitch. We don't do it. Pick play. Same thing. In info, you can display just a whole variety of things that I've never used before. You can even set a league logo. Any questions? How you doing, Dale? And T-Dub? All right. So if you guys got any questions, just let me know. All right, let's go through a roster screen. Can you guess which one we're using? You must highlight. I'm not highlighting anything. All right, this is what you get. I have it the default set to replay stats and the players that are available. And you can see here's the logo, here's the road uniform, here's the home uniform. And in a nutshell, I can see with the replay stats on what my batters are doing in the replay. Dwight Evans is hitting .290 with 14 homers and 43 RBI. Jim Rice, .242, 10 homers and 43 RBI. Now, the next game, if I was to play, would be June 27th against Milwaukee. We're not going to do that. Here's a look at how my pitchers are doing, sorted by ERA. John Tudor, he stinks. Bobby Ojeda, trade his tushy to the Mets. Bruce Hurst, he's almost devilish with that 6.62 ERA. So you can see just for the pitchers what hand they are, what their ERA is, 1 loss saves, number of games pitched, number of starts, how many innings, hits per 9, walks per 9, strikeouts per 9, their whip, their opponent batting average. If I use them in a game, what their expected pitch count is, I'm assuming that Mike Torres is going to start the next game for Boston. And how much that they each pitched in the last 4 days. So you know, if you're coming into it, how much that bullpen's been used, who you want to use, who you don't want to use. Because ideally, you really don't want to overuse your bullpen. It does matter. If you look at, let's say, Dennis Eckersley or Luis Aponte, you see where at Aponte, it's 20-S. That means he can go 20 pitches, but he's not fully rested. So he's not going to be fully effective. You want to pay attention to those. It might change if he was a starter, but he's not. Okay, so that's how your pitchers go. And just from the screen, you can see how they split against lefties and righties. How the pitchers split against lefties and righties. Bobby Ojeda's 405 against lefties. Oy vey. Their status of where they are and their salary and their rating. Click on a column, you see who's the best player. So in 1982, the best player in the Boston Red Sox is Dwight Evans, then Tom Bergmeyer, and Jim Rice is way down there. We don't talk about things like that. Their usage, you can see although we don't have it on, what their pace and what their usage is against real life. So if you care about that sort of things, you can see who's overplaying and underplaying. That's very helpful if you're doing not as played. If you just want to create your own lineups yourself, you could see who would need a rest, in this case Rich Gedman, and who needs more playing time, such as Wade Boggs. Same with the pitchers. Bobby Ojeda's thrown a lot of innings. But again, that's really useful if you're just if you're creating your own lineups. Now here are the box scores. At a glance, you want to click on one. Boom. Here's how Boston beat Cleveland on that particular day. And Dwight Evans had 4 RBI. Looks like he had a home run too. And Chuck Rainey went 6 2/3 innings and didn't make me cry that particular day. Okay, all from the team screen. Manager. So let's say you wanted to be a better manager than Ralph Houck. You can set the lineup rules when not using daily lineups. Here's the lineup for the next game against Milwaukee. And here's the upcoming starters. God. Oh, that's terrible. Is there a site to download the uniforms? Yeah, it's sportsreplays.net. I believe is where I got them from. Sometimes you can look in the forums, and there's one specific subform, guys, that has modifications there, and you can click on them. What's in the team? All right, you can get a good glance of how good or how bad a team is. Here's their leaders. Just at a glance, so you can do that for any team. Their history, we don't talk about that. And if you want to take, well, here's your notes. So you can see that Jim Rice was finally in the Hall of Fame and was the MVP in '78. When they were Hall of Fames, technically you could probably do all-star games in there and all that. So that's that screen. Now, you saw the lineup. Let's play with this one for a minute. I can load the lineup. I won't do that. For June 27th. And you saw it. It would load the lineup from that day. But let's say I wanted to do my own lineup. I would hit this button, computer lineup. And the computer would give me what they think the best lineup would be for the Red Sox on that given day. Jerry Remy leading off, Wade Boggs batting second, Jim Rice hitting third, Dwight Evans cleaning up, Yaz as a DH, Rick Miller in center, Dave Stapleton, Gary Allenson, and Glenn Hoffman. So that's what the computer thinks the best 9 are for the Boston Red Sox in 1982. Clear that out. How close did they come? They had Tony Perez at DH in this particular day and all that. Reed Nicholson center, there's an old name. Clear that. So that's a lineup screen. Position depth. So you can see that Gary Allenson is the best catcher against left-handed pitchers and right-handed pitchers. That's why Gary's picture's there twice. Rich Gedman is second on the depth list, and then Roger Lefrancois, a household name only in his own house, is third. Then you can go position by position, just in case you want to do your own lineups and platoon. Is there anything in here that doesn't have a platoon? Red Sox didn't platoon. Okay, bullpen. Here's where the computer, you can set, if you want to do computer games here, who should come in for what. But this is what the computer sees. It sees the closer against lefties and righties is Mark Clear with that 5.81 ERA. Goody, goody, goody. And then Bob Stanley, Louis Apane, and Tom Bergmeyer. They flip-flop between lefties and righties. And then the setup roles. Again, Mark Clear is the best setup pitcher. God help us, everybody. Long relief, Bob Stanley, and blowout Aponte. So it tells you if you're not sure who should be in those particular roles. Okay? Pinch hitters. Here's your best pinch hitters against lefties, and who's your best pinch hitters against righties. Again, just in case you aren't sure. The game gives you a tremendous amount of information. Bubba Husky, how are you? I appreciate that. So that's what happened with the pinch hitters. Starting rotation, again, you can change it to how you want, but this is what the computer says is the best. But if you're using as played lineups, it's going to use Ojeda and Hurst and fear for the worst. It's not going to use Brian Dedman. And if you're not sure, here's a list of the daily starters. And the amount of starts that they've had. So let's say in the upcoming Tiger series, you're going to get Eckersley, Hurst, and Tudor. Okay, so you know who the computer, who was used in real life and who there's pitching against. Again, just a tremendous amount of information. You can make player notes. You can release all the players. Manager. Let's click on manager preferences here. I don't touch these. But if the computer who plays the Red Sox, you can set this up. You can tell it how often you want to try for an extra base, steal second, third, and home, how often they should hit and run, bunt, pinch hit for the pitchers and batters, the defense, how often they should throw for runners, when you should start playing the infield in, when you should guard the lines, when to hold runners, attempt pickoffs, pitch out, when to sub, when to pitch around. Again, just like with the other games, you can be as deep about it as you want, or you can just pretty much play it out of the box. The great thing about the action PC games are they're very playable right out of the box. What else can we do? We can generate a default manager, player usage and availability. All right, okay. So that's how the roster things works, and you can do it for any team. If you want to do a single team replay, this is perfect. You can just play with your team, and the computer will accurately run everybody else. It will not make trades. This isn't OOTP. You can make trades, but there's no AI. So if you want to trade Dave, who would I want to trade to the Red Sox? Someone can't grow a cricket farm in Vermont. Whoop-de-ding-dong. Let's say you know the Red Sox needed a closer. You could trade Bill Carlisle to the Red Sox and give Seattle Jack Poop, and the game won't care. So let's do an exhibition at a ballpark that I know is drawn well. I'm going to play the Red Sox and those nasty Yankees, okay? And I'm going to let the computer run the Yankees. I'm going to go to the lineup. The Yankees have a set lineup. Now, I'm just going to run the computer lineup because there is no exact lineup that day. I can use all 33 players. Computer lineup. Okay, just that easy. You can kind of point and click your way. Let's say I wanted Tony Perez to be my DH instead of Carl Yastrzemski. I click on Tony. Click on Carl. It's all set. Easy peasy. I'm going to go with Mike Torres. I'm going to say about 10,000 novenas. And we're going to go. We're all set to go. You want to see what the Yankees are doing? Hit their computer lineup, and it's all set for you. It tells you the weather right from the start, 63 degrees, wind speeds out to 8.
Play ball!
The computer wants Mazzilli at first, really? The ratings here. You hear me go through it on each of the replay games, and I say that Dave Winfield is a 10 and a 7 and left. What does that mean? Well, his range is a 10. The defenders are 1 would be me fielding, and 10 would be Ozzie Smith. So Winfield is the best possible range in the outfield. Now that A there is his arm. So each player is rated on their arm, has an arm rating, same thing. 1 is a ramen noodle, you get into Johnny Damon territory. And 10 is Roberto Clemente. He's a howitzer out there, he's just gonna throw people out. As Rock said, you know how to roll. I appreciate that. Okay. So that's how you know who to run on. So Winfield's a good arm. The infield, the arms aren't rated, but you know by range. And so, and I always list the fielding percentage. So I have a general clue. 934 is not very good, but Nettles is good. So let's look at Nettles here. His range is a 7. He's going to get to the majority of balls, but he's going to commit his fair share of errors with a 934 percentage. I can't do that. Okay. All right. This is the outcome box. This is the closest thing you're going to get where the mouse is to an open engine. It tells me that Jerry Remy's going to hit 315 on this particular at bat. He has a 2.4% chance of getting a double. He's not going to triple. He's not going to homer. He has a 3.6% chance of a walk and a 14% chance of striking out. Those numbers become important as a pitcher gets tired because those batting averages will start to climb. You see Tommy John, what his numbers are. You click up on his name and it brings up his sheet. And so when in the game, I'll tell you that this would have been John's 16th start. He's got a record of 4-10 with a 4.38. This is where I'm getting all my information from. And you can see from the replay what his real life numbers are, what his replay numbers are, and how they are by month. So Tommy, who had a terrible April, has actually had a very good June for the Yankees, 272. Same for the batting. If you care about his fielding, this is what the game collects for fielding percentage. If you want to know how he's pitched against a certain team, he started twice against the Red Sox and went 1-1. The game logs you know because I've read them to you before. Okay, this gives you a good overview of the last time he went out there and what he did. Now, if I want to be precise on how I want Tommy John to pitch, I can set how many target innings I want him to throw. 205. How many starts? 29. Do I want him to come out of the bullpen? Yeah, if I need him, I want him to come out of the bullpen. And then I can, Tommy John's pitching manager. I can tell him how much I want him to pitch. Do I want him to pitch in only blowout games? Don't pitch in blowout games. Don't pitch as a starter. Don't pitch in relief. Always pull when tired. Okay? Just like with everything else, the amount of depth that you can do for these guys is amazing. For a pitcher, it tells me that he's a ground ball plus pitcher. He throws a fastball, but his fastball tops out at 81 miles an hour. He's good against holding on runners. He's not very clutch, okay? All the information is right there for you. Okay, we're going to play a full inning here. So Tommy John's going to face Jerry Remy. I have 3 options. I can hit, I can bunt for a hit, and I can take a pitch. Now, you can do this pitch by pitch. There's no way in hell I would do that. So I'm just going to hit. And there's a ground ball to Randolph over to Mazzilli for the out. That brings up Corey Lansford. Again, now you can see the outcome box. Tommy John's a big favorite here. 221 batting average. And a 5% chance for a walk or a strikeout. That 1 up by John is the amount of pitches he's thrown. He should go 120. He's thrown 1. So I'm going to hit Lansford. And it's a ground ball to Smalley over to Mazzilli for the out. So Tommy John is doing Tommy John things. He's inducing ground balls. Here's Jim Rice. Now, if there was someone smiling over me, this would be a home run. Same options. And there's a base hit up the middle. So someone's kind of smiling over me. So So Rice is on first. Okay? I'm not going to pinch run. I can click here to pinch run, and it will tell me my pinch runners. The run, 1 to 10, 10 being fastest, 1 being slowest. How many stolen bases they had, and how many caught stealings they had. So on the bench, my fastest pinch runners are Reed Nichols and Julio Valdez. Okay, now with a runner on base, my options are hit and run, take a pitch, steal, run and hit, which I wouldn't do with Jim Rice, or bunt for a hit. Okay, so you have, basically you have up to 8 different options. Evans is going to hit. And he draws the walk. And that brings up Yastrzemski. Now everyone's rated for bunt rating and hit and run rating. Right here. Yastrzemski wouldn't, don't bunt him, he's a 1. Hit and run rating is a 5. Now if I might need a runner, if you've watched some of Al Red Sox's Mets games, he hits and runs a lot. And that rating is that the chances of Yastrzemski making contact so rises and thrown out trying for third base. Ground ball to Nettles to Randolph to retire the foul. Okay? Same thing. Let's show you Jerry Mumphrey's card just for giggles. Again. All the splits you want. What he does in the clutch. What he does at home. What he does on the road. What he does in day games, night games, by month. His highs. His fielding stats. What he's done against certain teams. Mumphrey hasn't played against the Red Sox. That's kind of funky. And if you want to break it out, there's a game log for there. For the manager, it's all the same thing. You can set Mumphrey, what you want Mumphrey to do. And the computer is automatically check. Never pull for pinch runners, never pull for a pinch hitter. But defensively, he's not that great. So the computer's been told to pull for late inning defensive sub and don't use as a late inning defensive sub. Right here is hitting ratings. Again, everything based 1 through 10. He's a 7 base runner, but he's not going to steal bases. He gets a 2 jump. Not a good sack bunter, but if he tries to drop one down for a hit, he's a 7. A 5 against the hit and run, and a 5 power, both lefties and righties. All right, as a visiting manager, I have 4 options here before I can pitch, which just means a normal at-bat. If I think Mumphrey's going to homer off me, I can pitch around Mumphrey, which means that I'm not going to walk him, but I'm not going to throw him anything that's going to get good. If he was a high strikeout case, I could be aggressive with him. Now I look over here and see batting average is .335. I'm not going to be aggressive with him. Or I could intentionally walk him. So I'm going to pitch. Ground ball to Remy. Over to Stapleton for the out. Okay, Willie Randolph. He's got a decent bunt rating. I know the computer's not going to do it, but here'd be someone that you could play around with the defenses on. Normal is normal. I can bring Lansford in at third. But if Randolph slaps one into the left side, the chances of getting a base hit are greater because Lansford's playing in. Click it again. I can play the infield essentially at double play depth. It's great if I got a runner on third late in the game. It increases the chances if I want to throw home to get the runner out. But if not, I'm not in a position where I can't turn to if I don't need to. How you doing, Todd? Okay, so that's what that's for. Corners. If I know Randolph's going to bunt, then I bring in Lansford and Stapleton, my first and third baseman, and they have a better chance of playing the bunt. The computer knows that Remy, the second baseman, is going to go to first to cover any throw. You know how that works. You know how the bunt works. Infield in. I don't normally do that unless there is nobody out and I need to. But if you must get the runner out at home, obviously you bring the infield in. But you can see from the outcome box, how much that hit percentage has changed. Guard the lines. Something I rarely do, but it moves the first and third baseman over to guard the lines against a double. And normal. And actually, if you look at the outcome box and see the percentages. Down ball to Lansford, 2 out. What do these buttons do? The C, I think that means a computer. B brings up the Indian box score. And as you can tell, there's just a tremendous amount of stats here. What the batters have done, what the miscellaneous is. I want to see the score sheets of Boston and New York and the play-by-play. Dave Gardner found this last night. If you click on the half inning, you get a play-by-play of what happened in the inning. So we'll pitch to Gamble. And a shallow fly ball to right. Here comes Evans, and that retires the side. Now, if I want to pull a pitcher, I want to pinch it for Stapleton. You click once on his name, and the list of available pinch hitters comes up. So Stapleton, with a lefty on the mound, hits lefties at a 247 clip. So I look here for the average against lefties and see who'd be a better replacement. Well, I could bring in Wade Boggs. In fact, I will bring in Wade Boggs. And that's how easy it is to pinch hit. So Wade Boggs is my pinch hitter. Pitch from Tommy John as a base. That worked out well, didn't it? So now Boggs has a 48% chance of stealing second base. Normally, if that number is under 65%, you don't steal. Because even a 50-50, you're losing an out. But with Rick Miller, I see that hit and run rating is a 6. And just for giggles, I'm going to hit and run. Sure you can. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but absolutely, you can import players for however you want. So I'm going to hit and run. There goes Boggs. Miller didn't swing, and Boggs stole the base. You're welcome, bossy. So we're going to let Miller now hit. And that's a base hit. Is Boggs going to try? Okay, so now I have the option to what to score Boggs. Okay, Boggs' speed is 3 out of 10. That's not very fast. Jerry Mumphrey has a 4 arm, which is out of a 10. That's slightly below average. His 986 fielding percentage tells me that, there's a slight chance he could throw the ball away. So I have imagine if you're doing cards and dice, imagine you had the 2 10-sided die, and a 1 to 57 is safe, and a 58 and up is out. So do I chance it? For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to chance it. Normally, with nobody out, you don't want to make the first out on the bases, and you don't want to make the last out. I'm going to risk it. The throw home. Boggs is thrown out. Mr. Utah Mike is happy because I was an idiot, and there's 1 out. Brings up Gary Allenson, who can't do anything. Double play. Randolph for 1. Nope. And you can have it all on the play-by-play as well. In fact, this used to be the traditional view. Okay, all your stats right here. Lineups, I wouldn't do it, because I don't think it streams as well. But you can get all your information right here. Like 5 or 6 years ago, this was the default version of the game. So we're going to hit with Hoffman. with 2 out. It does the play-by-play. Ground ball to Smalley, over to Mazzilli, and that retires the side. Now, I have a hole at first base. I don't have a first baseman there because I pinch hit for him. So I can use Boggs at first or Tony Perez. The asterisk tells me that Boggs is already in the game. We click once, enter Wade as a first baseman. Yes. Now, let's say I don't want to use Torres anymore. Same thing. Here's my bullpen. Here are my options. It tells you the innings, the ERA, the WHIP, all the stats you need. Since I don't warm pitchers, it doesn't matter when they threw last and how many pitches they threw over the last 4 days and what my usage is. So if I'm looking at, let's say, Mark Clear, he threw 105 innings, and the replay, he's on pace for 72. So double click on Mark Clear's game, enter the pitch. I would hit yes. I'm going to hit no because I'm done anyway. Okay? If I want to go out and see what Torres is doing on the mound, click mound trick. You can do it once per inning. Torres is strong. Okay? And there you have it. There you have it. Let me make sure I look at the camera. So that's the basics for Action PC Baseball. As with the other games, it is very much as difficult, as easy, not easy, as simple or as complicated as you want. You can sit there and go through everybody on a team and change settings and all that. You can do your own lineups. You can save your own lineups. You can make trades. But Action PC is best doing. You can do what ifs with it, of course, but as a stock replay engine, it's just set up and go. You can create your own ballparks, put in your own logos, and it's just, I've got a video on how to mod ballparks for Action PC Baseball. So any other questions before I go? Can you import players? Yeah, you can actually do draft leagues too if you really wanted. The jerseys? All right. Organize. Team information. You can see the Braves right here. Road, if you have them downloaded, there you go. Uni_H_ team name. It's already set. But let's say I wanted Baltimore, I could do that. Atlanta 81 to 84. Oh, that's the home team. I'm not going to change that. But it's just that simple. If I want retro day for the Braves, I can do that. Which site do I use to get the pictures? PC Ballpark has them by year. So all the pictures I have are precisely in the folder for 1982. As for the logo, if I don't have manager photos, but if you wanted to put Bobby Cox's picture there or Joe Torre's picture there, you could. Home uniform, road uniform. You never touch this. It's all set for you. Okay? Anything else? All righty. Well, I think that pretty much takes care of it. If I missed anything really basic, you can put in a comment here. This game keeps track of everything. So there's your team report and how they've done recently. The Braves have just pooped the bed at the wrong time. People asking why Milwaukee isn't playing very well. Well, look, they got pummeled by Detroit, they got pummeled by Baltimore, and the Yankees took 2 out of 3. These are all clickable, so you can see who's by at bat, by production, by on base percentage, how many. Just incredible what you can do with it. Double click on a player, gives you all the stats. And you can get lost for hours doing this. Anything else, guys? Okay, well, that should do it on my end there. Hopefully you found this useful if you're new to the game, or if, I've done 3 of these. We'll do basketball next week, and I'm just amazed at the options that you have. And if you don't feel comfortable in changing anything, don't do it. These games are playable essentially right out of the box. You don't need to change anything. You set the baseball to as played, and you get everything there. Doesn't come with the logos. It doesn't come with the pictures, and there are some ballparks that are there, and the default, if there isn't one, is Camden Yards. But you can mod the game, and they all pretty much mod the same. All right. Well, that's going to do it for me on this Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow night, our football Patriots Challenge returns. The Patriots and the 99 St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf. Baseball this week, St. Louis and Philadelphia Tuesday, Baltimore at Detroit primetime Wednesday, and Seattle and the White Sox on Thursday. All right. Hey, thanks for spending part of your Sunday with me. Hope the weather is good in your neck of the woods and you can do something that you want to do. I'm Ron Chuckett. Hit that like and subscribe. We'll talk to you the next time.